Hey guys. Hey guys, this is the Lycan Lupo filler arc, maybe. This is maybe the Lycan Lupo filler arc, where I'm just reading a bunch of random visual novels, right? Like, I have a list of visual novels that I'm, like, planning to read, but I don't want to read those yet. So we're just going through a bunch of random visual novels that I'm just, like, finding wherever. So we're reading Four Letter Word. Okay, Four Letter Word is, like, it's like a visual novel sequel to, like, a web comic. But also, this hasn't been updated for, like, 5 years. So I thought it would be funny to read it. I thought it would be funny to read what exists of it, even though this visual novel is, like, dead, right? It's dead. We're gonna see what this is. We're gonna see what Four Letter Word is. Choose your game mode. What do you mean? What do you mean my game mode? I thought something was going to appear on screen. Okay, there's standard mode or custom four-letter word. We're just going to play standard. Okay. But even then, we pick a character we play as. Okay. Oh, god damn it. Colby. Guys, I like that art style. It's not even like filtered backgrounds. These are like, this feels ancient. Right? Can I say that? This feels ancient. This has such like a vibe to it, you know? It has such like a nostalgic vibe. You've got some explaining to do. Oh, hey Asher. His name is Asher. Don't hey Asher me, you know what you did. I haven't the slightest idea. Oh, come on, really? Okay, level with me here. Did you or did you not replace my shampoo with a bottle of lube? What? Colby. Okay, calm down, big guy. You keep making a fuss like that and your fur's gonna turn gray. My fur's always been gray. I'm a gray wolf. Oh, he's a wolf. Details. Anyway, it wasn't me, but I can guess who did it. Oh, this should be good. Well, last night, Jordan. Right, Jordan. So Jordan was over last night, and we were both a little drunk. Just a little drunk. We had trouble finding lubes. We had the bright idea to grab some kind of bath product instead. That's not a bright idea. And you thought this was a good idea? Okay, we were really drunk. You didn't actually. Of course not. Well, we might have if we didn't end up finding lube after all. I guess in this compromised state, you must have tried to put your shampoo back, but grabbed the wrong bottle. And I'm supposed to buy that. Well, that was the hope. You know, I'm not going to let you off the hook. You're making dinner tonight. Pasta's already boiling. You saw that coming? Well, that sure as hell is a sign that we've been living together for way too long. Yep, that's my roommate for you. We didn't always used to be this way. Oh, don't get me wrong, we're great friends now. But, well, we used to be something else. I'm not even sure what I'd call it, but in the end, I messed it all up. No idea who's talking here. No idea who's talking. Oh. Who am I? Sorry about that. Oh, the point. It's like Schrodinger's cat. We didn't know who was talking there. It's actually really clever. Because you have to choose a character. Okay, we have Colby Anders. Species Red Fox. Age 24th. Okay, it's funny to have, like, such high production value, but then the text is just, like... It's just, like, 12-point Arial font. It's, like, 12-point Arial font. This is really cool, though. Too bad... What? Sorry, I read that he was an adult film star. Okay, Colby Anders, species Red Fox. Age 24, occupation adult film star. As in he is a film star who is an adult, right? As most are, right? He's a film star, you know, it's not like It's not anything weird, right? He's just an actor, right? That's just a funny way of saying he's an actor. A boy from a small town on the West Coast. When he graduated from high school, he took the opportunity to move east to Claremont to get a fresh start. Where he is now an adult film star? Okay. Asher Copeland, Grey Wolf, age 25, occupation sound designer. A city boy with a good heart. Although he seems to have his life together, he struggles with the one thing he's missing. Huh. Wait, does he have a C on his jacket because his last name is Copeland? Oh. Is that why they're called Letterman jackets? Because they have a letter that describes what man you are? I don't know. Letterman. Guys, I don't know who we want to play. Who do we want to play as? Reminder that this is unfinished. This is an unfinished visual novel. No one will ever see the ending, right? No one will ever see the ending. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we're Asher Copeland. Oh, who am I? Sorry about that. I'm Asher, naturally. Asher. The stuff with Colby. That was my fault. A more confident person. A normal person wouldn't have created such an awkward situation. We were more than friends, I knew that. Colby knew that. I just wasn't prepared to face the reality of the situation, and when it came up on me unexpectedly, I choked. Things were rough for a while, and I thought I might have lost him for good. But I'm as lucky as I am stupid, and we've been able to stay friends at the very least. I should have learned something from all that, but I did mention the stupid part, right? I feel like maybe something's boiling under the surface, and the same thing might happen again. Only this time, Colby might really be gone. I just don't have the courage to face it. Friday, November 15th. Like all the backgrounds. Oh yeah, I guess this is a 4:3 aspect ratio. That's interesting. It's interesting that it's a 4:3 aspect ratio. Is Morinot 2 also like that? Morinot 2 might also be 4:3. I'm not sure. Oriza, one of the busiest restaurants downtown. If I'd arrived just an hour earlier, I'd have found the place bustling with activity. I could almost imagine the din of the vibrant conversations and the sounds of silverware clinging together, echoing like some kind of haunting phantasm lingering over the desiccated corpse of an evening's night out. That's what the restaurant always felt like when it was this vacant, an empty shell of its former self, dying and resurrecting on a nightly basis. But I wasn't here looking for a meal. I saw a familiar face, busy working at counting money and closing out the till. Excuse me. I'm sorry, sir, but the kitchen's closed, and we aren't seating anyone at the moment. I'm not looking for a seat. Oh, Asher, I'm dreadfully sorry. I didn't realize it was you. Hi, Cece. Don't worry about it. Didn't mean to startle you. I'm just here to talk to the chef. Of course, I'll go get him. Chef. I didn't have to wait long. Troy was one of my oldest and best friends, and in all the years we've known each other, he never kept me waiting. He was always there for me, and I was always there for him. We were like brothers in every way except blood. Well, has the street dog come to beg for table scraps again? Come on, I'm not a starving college kid anymore. I can afford to buy my own food these days. He might not have been an executive chef back then, but while I was in college, Troy was working hard in the kitchen, rising through the ranks. He was always quick to learn anything when he set his mind to it, but even I was surprised at how hard he worked and how fast the promotions came. I can't remember if there was ever a time where it seemed obvious that this was what he wanted to do, but back during a time when I was taking summer school and night classes for extra credit to prepare for a career, Troy was already starting his. We didn't get to spend as much time together in high school because he put a lot of hours as a dishwasher at Oriza. Oriza? Put a lot of hours in as a dishwasher at Oriza. The chef taught him how to prepare staff meals, and the rest is history. Even though he had a lot of talent for it, I've always suspected that their staff meals were were what really cemented his place in the restaurant, not because of how good he was at it. I knew Troy had an estranged relationship with his dad who disappeared while we were kids, and while my family tried to make him feel comfortable in ours, I don't think it was until then that he felt like he had one. He never would talk much about himself, but I could imagine it. The camaraderie at the team he worked with, a team where he could feel a sense of belonging, solidifying over sitting down with a warm meal while everyone traded stories and shared in the wheels and woes of their brothers and sisters in the kitchen. That's something we were never able to give him, no matter how much we tried to include him, that sense of space. Alright, then why did you come all the way during closing hours? Well, we never get a chance to talk anymore unless I do. Fair enough, I can be a hard guy to track down these days. Working 12-hour days and 6 days a week doesn't really help. Well, someone's gotta do it. If I'm not around to keep all these guys in check, the kitchen would just fall apart. Take my advice, don't make a reservation on a Sunday. I'll keep that in mind if I ever make enough money to even consider eating here. Not as a mooch, at least. I told you, those days are behind me now. You wouldn't be saying that if you could smell the Chiopino we made today. I can feel my stomach growling despite having eaten already. Not fair. Cats don't play fair. I'm beginning to reconsider why I came here to begin with. Right, which was... Dad's been getting restless, and he says he wants to see me again. Mr. C? Have you guys even talked much since? Not since Mom passed. It's not like there was anything you could do, Ash. I know, it's just Mom was the only one who was okay with, and Dad and well. I know. The less said, the better. Or rather, I just felt uncomfortable talking about a lot of things and it was easier just to infer. But that's my problem, isn't it? I just can't bring myself to talk about difficult things. Although if it were easy, they wouldn't be difficult things, would they? So, anyway, I was wondering if you wanted to come with. He wants me to come see him for New Year's. I asked Colby already, but he seemed kind of indecisive. Right now it's still November, right? Cool, huh? Yeah. I think it'd be better if I set this one out and let you two go alone. Troy always got so weird whenever I talked about Colby. I couldn't figure him out. Even if he goes, you could still come, You really are clueless, aren't you? It's not that at all. I'm doing this for your own good. Trust me. My own good? I'm not sure why you acted like him and Colby were two volatile liquids that would just explode when mixed together. The few times the two of them had actually met, they got along quite well. What was I missing here? Well, Dad would still probably like to see you. He sees you even less than I do. It's not like he's going to die tomorrow. I can find another time to go and see him with you. It'd still be nice to go and see him with the good son. Might make him a little less irritable. Good son? I mean, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? He likes you a lot more than he likes me. I'm sure there are probably times where he wishes you were his son instead. Come on, Asher, you can't really think like that. Well, he does treat you a lot better, even though we're both gay. He might be particularly nice to me sometimes, but there's a reason for that. Please tell me that's not something creepy. What? Gross, I swear, it's nothing creepy. Whew, well, that's a relief. Think it over then, at least? I think I can do. Promise I cannot. Was that my phone? Guys, there's a text message minigame. How do I save the game? It's a floppy disk. Do older versions of REMP just use this sort of save setup? I don't know. I don't know if there were, older versions of REMP. I don't know if this is REMP. I'm just assuming it's REMP because it has a lot of the REMP, features. But, a lot of, modern visual novels, they have the more, they have, the larger, more broader, save screen where you get, a 3x3, essentially. But then this one, it has, it's like a 4x3. It's kind of kind of how Echoes is too, right? I don't know. How do I get back to the game? How do I go back? Was that my phone? Click on the mail button to check your messages. India, don't forget. From India. Guys, this looks so ancient. Don't forget. I need to know whether I need the truck or not. Remember to ask Troy. How do I go back? I have to reply. I'm on it. Did I reply? Can I see my reply? We can compose a message? Guys, this is too complicated. We're closing. Was that my phone? Oh, there was one other thing. India wanted me to make sure you were coming camping with us next weekend before she rented a truck to take your equipment out to the lake. Yeah, as long as that truck is big enough for a ton of portable heaters. I can't believe you guys really want to go camping this late in the year. Well, you know how it is. It's the only time all of us can manage to take off of work. I know, I'm one of the main reasons for the scheduling after all. I'll be there, you can count on me. I could always count on you, Troy. Well, that's sweet. It's Saturday, November 16th. Wonder what this story is going to be, like, about. I wonder what this story is going to be about. I know it's silly to think about, like, how a story ends as soon as it, like, begins. But that's, like, the thing with a lot of, like, visual novels. Is, like, some visual novels have been in production for, like, years. And in the back of my head, I'm like, is there, like, an ending? Like, does the author, like, plan for this to end at a particular point? Or are they just kind of, like, writing it? Or are they just kind of writing the visual novel? Colby had gone out for lunch today, so I decided to catch up on some sleep and nap a little while longer. I threw together a late breakfast of some granola. Yogurt, and berries. I'm a little bit sick, so if I cough, it's because I'm a little bit sick. He was back in through the door just as I finished washing everything. Welcome back. Huh? Oh, hey. Something wasn't right. Even someone as dense as me could see that. Guys, this is so silly. This is so silly because this is the game loudly reminding you that, hey, if you want to see what happened to Colby, you could play Colby's side of the story. Don't forget, guys. Right. This is the game doing that loudly as possible. Or maybe he's just going to tell us what happened, which would kind of defeat the purpose of playing his side of the story, but also would be convenient. I don't know. Something wasn't right. Even someone as dense as me could see that. Hey, is something on your mind? Sort of. If nothing else, at least when something was bothering Colby, he was easy to read. How did lunch go? Oh, well, you know, I don't. It was great. The food was good. And? Hey, do you think I could pass for a straight guy? What? Do you think I could pass for a straight guy? I mean, not dressed like this, of course. Colby, what are you talking about? I know, stupid question, right? Brody's been really trying to push the gay for pay angle lately. There's a lot of money in it. I mean, it's oh, is this what this is about? I mean, it's practically the only fetish gay porn even explores, so I guess it's not like it has a lot of competition. Not that I'm complaining, though. It's not like I want to have weird clown sex or have some guy pissing all over me just to pay the bills. Colby was good at changing his disposition when he was deflecting. I wonder if I should bother pushing further. I don't know. I don't know, puppies. We're saving again. How do I go back? I don't have any messages, right? Huh. Okay, like, if I was playing this on my own, this is the moment where I would, like, go play, like, Colby's story to like catch up to this moment. You know what I mean? If I was playing this by myself, this is the moment where I would like stop playing and go play Colby's story to like catch up to this moment, just for like context. It's funnier though if we have zero context for like what happened. We're confronting him. Colby, you know that's not what I'm asking about. Yeah. I'm going to assume you weren't having lunch with your boss. No. So what's actually on your mind? I, went out to lunch with one of my past hookups, and he asked me out. Well, I guess we're dating now. I felt my chest grow tight and cold before it felt like my heart sunk somewhere deep in the pit of my stomach. Everything felt like it was coming into sharp focus. Also, should I read the comic? Like, I'm not gonna, like, record me reading the comic. But, like, should I read the comic for context? Because I think the comic is, like, I guess it's, like, a direct prequel to this visual novel. Again, like, the story isn't finished, right? The story isn't finished, but, you know. It's interesting to think about. Interesting to think about. Anyway, what was happening? I felt my chest grow tight and cold before it felt like my heart sunk somewhere deep in the pit of my stomach. Everything felt like it was coming into sharp focus. Oh. Oh? Was that all I could say? Well, what else could I say? I couldn't even sort out how I felt about it, much less put it into words. It'd been a long time since I felt this way. The last time I could remember was when we had our first falling out. Colby was not shy about all the other guys he slept with after that. Jealousy? Is that what this was? Maybe. I knew it was silly, but it had begun to feel like everything we'd shared together, all our history, our close bond, none of that meant anything now. Now there was a guy who, for all I knew, barely knew Colby, and he had this much more involved relationship with him. He doesn't deserve it. Yeah, I guess that sums up how I felt. But did I have any right to feel that way? Do I deserve it any more than he does? No, I'm the coward who's too scared to make any moves. I'm not entitled to anything, much less Colby's heart. How long have you known him? A week, maybe. Do you even know that much about him? A little. Are you sure this is a good idea? How am I supposed to know? It's not like anyone's ever asked me out before. And that was the heart of it. I just sat there dumbly. There wasn't anything I could say to that. I had plenty of chances and I took none of them. Yeah, I guess this was jealousy. Was this what Colby wanted? Even back then, was he doing this just to punish me for screwing everything up? No, Colby's not like that. This is all me. And yet, why did Colby look so deflated and conflicted? Shouldn't this be an exciting moment for him? What's wrong, Colby? Nothing. It's not nothing. Weren't you happy about this? I am, I just... Sorry, I'm just being a dork. I'm alright. Colby. But before I could say anything more, he disappeared into his room. Sorry guys, I'm trying to... This is like a game console, right? What kind of game console is this? I guess they have a setup where the cords like go behind the wall and into the TV. This art style kind of reminds me of the background art in chord progressions. It sort of feels like a less refined version of that. Blinds. Couch. I can't figure out what console this is. Maybe it's not a console. It's probably a console though, right? Huh. Maybe they have multiple consoles. Oh, these are like speakers. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the kind of background that's like modeled directly after like someone's actual like living room. I don't know. But before I could say anything more, he disappeared into his room. Where are we? He's a sound designer. What is a sound designer? Like is he... What is a sound designer? Okay, because he's not a musician, because if he was a musician, they would have said he was a musician, not a sound designer. But then I'm like, okay, is he a Foley artist? But okay, if he was a Foley artist, they would have called him a Foley artist, not a sound designer. I'm not sure I know what a sound designer is. Huh. I made my way outside. I needed some fresh air to clear my head. I figured Colby would appreciate the space. I could have handled that a bit better, I suppose. Maybe I'll go apologize to him after he's had some alone time. He didn't deserve to be interrogated like that. In the meantime, I sure could use a stiff drink. I felt my phone in my pocket. I could always count on Troy. Thanks for meeting me here, Troy. Well, I couldn't let you go out drinking on your own. How sad would that be? Okay, this is the Troy rant. Okay, so whenever you think about Troy, what do you think of? You think about the fall of Troy, right? So I feel like whenever you, like, name a character Troy, you're sort of, like, implicating that they're going to have a fall at some point. You know what I mean? Like, obviously that's not real, you know? Obviously that's not true. But just sort of whenever I hear a name like that, a name with that much, like, iconography surrounding it, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, is this character going to have a fall? Are they going to have a fall of Troy? Well, I couldn't let you go out drinking on your own. How sad would that be? I feel kind of bad, though. What about your restaurant? If I'm going to be gone for all of next weekend, I might as well let my Sue see if he can keep things together for one night. Baptism by fire? Hopefully not literally. I'll drink to that. I reached over to grab the round of tequila shots I ordered from the bar, pulling the tray with the small pile of salt and lime wedges closer. I wet the spot between the knuckles of my thumb and index finger with my tongue, before sprinkling a pinch of salt on it. As I licked the salt back off of my hand, I could feel my mouth watering. Salud! Without hesitating, I knocked back the shot of tequila. No matter how many times I'm prepared for that burn, I still can't help but wince. I snatched some of the limes off the tray and bit into the acidic flesh, sucking the citrus juices in. Phew, better. You know, I would have thought by now you'd be able to down tequila without a chaser. Aw man, that would take all of the fun out of it, though. Bullshit, you're just too much of a pussy to do it. I slid the glass across to Troy. Alright then, if you're such a man to show me up. Ash, I don't drink, you know that. If I've ever known anybody who needed a good drink, it's you. Come on, let loose a little. You need to relax. If I need to relax, I can always head out back for a smoke. Troy. Okay, so he doesn't drink, right? He doesn't drink. He does smoke though, right? He's like, no, I don't drink. However, I will smoke. Come on, Troy. Come on. At least he's saving his liver, I guess, right? Right? He's killing his lungs. At least he's saving his liver, though, I guess. You're a chef, Troy. You know that smoking is going to ruin your palate, not to mention your lungs. I'll worry about that when the time comes. I'm not going to drink, Asher. That's not for debate. Sorry, I don't mean to be so pushy. I just worry about you. What do you mean you worry? I know, but trust me, I have my reasons. Trust this, trust that, reasons. I'll figure you out one day, Troy, so enjoy being insufferably cryptic while you can. So, what are we doing here? Don't think for a second that I believe that you're really just thirsty enough to want to spend $10 a piece on shots. I'm drinking to forget, to feel something other than this ache. But, of course, I'm way too embarrassed to admit that. God, I'm such a kid. Oh, well, you know, what else do you do at bars? Maybe find someone to go home with? Not a total lie, just not the whole truth. I have to accept that Colby is just not in the market anymore. I have to move on. Something about this story makes me think that it's not quite that simple. Something about this story makes me think that's not quite simple. Of all the places to try and pick up guys, you choose a bar? Really? Are we stuck in the 90s? Where else is he going to go? Right? Where else is a guy going to go pick up guys? The Bean in Chicago? Like, what? You're the one who recommended this place. At the time, you just asked me for a good bar. You didn't say anything about trying to pick up guys until now. Well, where am I supposed to look? E-Unity? What is E-Unity? Do I have to look up what E-Unity is? Right. Sometimes it's more fun to be, like, stupid and ignorant. But sometimes I actually want to know what things are, right? Sometimes I'm content to be an ignorant, dumb, stupid wolf. But sometimes I want to know stuff, right? Right? Dumb wolves can learn too. Here. What is E-Unity? E-Unity. Assuming it's a real thing. I don't know. Okay. Apparently, according to Google, the top result, E-Unity is a simple, intuitive, secure healthcare app or something. It allows healthcare professionals to access, manipulate, and collaborate over full quality medical images. And it has 16 reviews on Google Play. That might not be what this is referring to. eUnity is the market's leading zero-footprint viewing and vendor-independent integration platform. It gives clinicians fast, uninterrupted access to diagnostic ... I don't know if that's what they're talking about in particular. I don't know if that's particularly what they're talking about and referring to in this particular scene. But that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny if that is what they're talking about. I have trouble believing that's what they're talking about, though. You probably had better luck there than here. Asher, this place isn't even a gay bar. You don't think your boyfriend would have a problem with you taking me to a gay bar without him? Besides the point. Suppose you see a guy you like. You don't even have a guarantee he's even looking in your end of the gender pool, if he's even looking at all. Well, I don't know. The bartender's been kind of staring at me this whole time. Maybe he kind of likes me? Or he's confused as hell, wondering why someone would come to the Naiad Lounge just to order shots. This place is the only craft cocktail bar in Claremont. For God's sakes, it might be the only building in the entire city that even stocks Campari. You sure know a lot about alcohol for a guy who's sworn it off. You do know that Oriza is a bar too, right? Besides, you think I don't know anyone else in the service industry? How do you think I came up with this place as a recommendation? Alright, I believe you. You're probably not moonlighting as a sommelier under my nose. Sommelier? Under my nose. But really, how long do you think morbid curiosity is supposed to last? I didn't think it'd be longer than 5 minutes. He's a bartender at one of the most pretentious joints around. He's probably just concerned that you're not giving the place a chance. That, or he's just that caliber of bartender. What? What caliber? The most attentive bartenders are people watchers. Not for sport, mind you. He might be watching you just to gauge your reactions to everything. To read you. It's how they figure out what you want without you even knowing what you want. Don't tell me your boyfriend told you that. Bailey does like to wax poetic, as long as it's about himself. And did he figure out what you want? I think you know the answer to that. Well, if you managed to bag a bartender, how hard could it be? I barely got up from my seat before Troy stopped me. Hold on, Ash. You think bartenders don't get hit on constantly while they work? It's like all I hear about at home. Don't piss him off by being too creepy or anything, please. Dude, I'm not nearly drunk enough for that. I like the writing in this. It's pretty fun. This is a pretty fun find. This is a pretty cool find. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like I've heard about this visual novel, like, a while back. Maybe, like, once or twice. But it's interesting, actually, like, checking out and reading it. I don't know. Because that is a thing, though, with how a lot of, like visual novels and, like, furry media, it has this, like, recency. It has this, like, recency associated with it, right? It's, like, a lot of, like, visual novels started, like, being made and being written, like, post-2020. So, this feels like a relic from, like, a bygone era, you know? Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. This does feel like an echo of an elusive age. I know, it's quite interesting. Was this all made by one guy? Probably, right? It's probably all made by one guy. Or something? I don't know. You being brave enough to approach anyone about anything is worryingly drunk to me. It'll be fine. For all my bravado, though, as I approached the bar again, I felt trepidation sink in. Oh, this is who we've been talking about. This is who we've been talking about, I see. And as my eyes locked onto the bartenders, it was joined by heaps of anxiety. Yeah, I definitely wasn't drunk enough. But gosh, did he have nice eyes. Can I help you? Gulp. I just smiled and nodded as if you were listening to the most interesting tale he'd heard in a while. He just smiled and nodded. Okay, stop me if I'm wrong. You want another drink? I just nodded. But not just any drink. More nods. Alright, I think it's time to retire the shot glass and graduate to the big boys club. Since you seem to have quite the penchant for tequila, let's take a margarita for a spin, huh? Even more nods. Straight up or on the rocks? One too many nods. That wasn't a yes or no question. No more nods. I'll tell you what, since you seem a little tongue-tied, I'll just take an educated guess. Let's do it on the rocks. I mean, who likes things straight anyway? Whoa, what? Was I reading too much into that one? I was pretty sure I couldn't hide the blush for the uncomfortable shifting of my posture. Good thing being drunk gives you an excuse for both. If the bartender noticed, he didn't show it. Without missing a beat, he went straight to work, his arms moving deftly around the counter into a whirlwind of activity as he tipped bottles of tequila, triple sec, lime juice into jiggers. He emptied those out into a larger vessel and then into a stainless steel shaker, shoveling some ice in there as well before grasping a slightly convex tumbler and a saucer of salt. Then you wet the rim of the glass with some lime juice before holding the glass parallel to the salt, rotating it delicately between his fingers to get a perfect layer of the crystals lining its rim. This is like a boss level. This is a boss level in reading comprehension. Right? Reading comprehension boss battle. Impossible difficulty. He returned to the shaker and gave the contents a good shake to mix the contents properly, then fetched a single large ice cube to put into the center of the glass he'd prepared. Interesting. This is like trying to figure out what's going on in the fight scenes in the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, you know? It's like reading a fight in the Jujutsu Kaisen manga and desperately trying to figure out what's supposed to be happening in, like, the fight choreography. The ice cube was cut so perfectly and so absolutely devoid of any impurities that I got a little worried I might get charged $10 for the ice. The cocktail poured out through the shaker strainer over the ice cube, cascading down over its sparkly straight edges and filling up the glass. Even after the bartender had slid the margarita over to my end of the bar, I sat there looking at it, a little intimidated. Everything about the drink, from the glass to the ice, was so considered. I must have looked like some kind of choir boy who'd just been offered his first sip of wine. But it wasn't so much the contents, but rather the presentation that had me hesitating. There sure was a lot of theater involved in serving drinks I hadn't experienced before. How much do I owe you for? Nothing, until we find a drink you'll come back for. Any old dive bar can give you shots, but that's not how we do things at Naiad Lounge. Before the night is through, we'll have you coming back for more. Well, that was customer service for sure. I couldn't get a handle on this guy. Was he being genuine or just fishing for tips? It's like he walked the fine line between a used car salesman and a really passionate showman. Thanks, Hugh. Thanks, Hugh. I knocked back the glass, and instantly I felt my skin crawl and my face pucker. Slow down, Cinderella. Got a ball to attend? After I got a chance to get past the intense sourness, I had enough sense to laugh at myself about it. Yeah, my pumpkin's on the clock. Alright, let me fix you up something else then. And be sure to sip it this time. It's a cocktail, not a draft beer. As embarrassing as that was, Hugh didn't make me feel bad about it. Sure, he teased me about it, but there was a certain warmth to it that said, "Hey buddy, sit down, let's catch up." As if we'd been friends for ages, despite meeting for the first time. It was comfortable. With the initial shock of the tartness of the drink receding rapidly, I was able to appreciate the flavors that were there more easily. The salt that had clung to the rim of the glass helped to balance out the sharpness of the lime, and brought out the woody spiciness in the tequila hiding just underneath. It made me kind of regret that Hugh was giving up on it so quickly, but he also made me look forward to what he had in store all the more. If what Troy was saying was true, then whatever he had learned about my reception to the first drink was going to feed into the next one. This one's a personal favorite of mine. Can't go wrong with a Negroni. He offered me another drink with a rich, vibrant red color. Taking his advice to heart, I touched the rim of the glass to my lips, and much more timidly, perhaps too timidly, tilted it up until the cool liquid reached my lips. He was watching carefully. From the moment... Okay, from the moment, right, this isn't Hugh talking, right? It says this is Hugh talking. This is not Hugh talking. From the moment my lips first curled and my brow first furrowed, he had set about making another drink. The drink wasn't anything like I had imagined. I had in my head the idea that cocktails were these sugary sweet drinks more akin to melted candy canes than a drink of real means. It wasn't sour like the margarita, but there was a decidedly bitter edge to it. This cocktail was really herbaceous and tangy with a long, lingering cherry finish, and a much more complex flavor than I think I was really prepared for. I came to realize that this was a real cocktail, a mature, fully fledged adult, in a world of childlike pretenders. But as I was thinking that, he was already taking the glass away and replacing it with another. Give this one a go instead. He's drinking a lot of alcohol quite quickly. Not that much. It's not that much alcohol. It's kind of a lot of alcohol. This drink was brighter in color, more orange than red. Another sipper? Anything worth drinking is worth savoring. I took it slow again, and I realized this must have been another Negroni, but this one was milder. Huh. It was still acerbic, but at that perfect level where my tongue could accept it comfortably, and all it did was enhance everything else around it. I tried to think of anything I could find wrong with it, but I couldn't. Somehow Hugh had zeroed in on exactly how to balance a drink for me, and so quickly too. Wow, how did you... Cucci Vermouth di Torino and Apero. That's all you're getting out of me. A magician can't reveal all of his secrets. Tricks. He watched me carefully as I took a second sip. He seemed to approve of my reaction this time. Do we have a winner? I'd say. Great, consider that my treat. Wait, are you sure? You bet, I feel like I robbed you for letting you waste money on all those shots anyway. But I better see you around here again. I don't forget a face, or a scent. Just like that, he was off to another corner of the bar with another customer. For a moment, I felt kind of abandoned. It was dumb of me to feel like we'd somehow bonded over 3 drinks and a one-sided conversation. As if that wasn't the same thing Hugh had to offer every patron. It was just a service, not a friendship. Even though he didn't take any money from me this time, that didn't change what it was. In a way, it just kind of reminded me all the more of Colby. What I thought I had was just something everyone got. Maybe I wasn't anything special. Maybe it was good that I never took the chance. I watched for a while as he worked the crowd while he'd flip shakers in the air and catch them behind his back. Stir multiple drinks at once with his long-handled bar spoons. Spin a hand torch around his fingers and sear citrus rinds. His audience loved him, crowning and cheering, excited by his showmanship. And he fed off that furor, that adoration, feeding into an endlessly spiraling cycle of excitement. He knew I'd come back. We'd all come back. For the drinks and for him. It's getting late. You ready to go? Yeah, I think so. Huh. So, do you think the bartender liked you after all? Who knows? Hard to say. Because it wasn't that the bartender liked me. I'd come to realize it was the other way around all along. Huh. Sunday, November 17th. Okay, well, this is where we're ending this maybe episode, right? This is where we're ending this maybe episode of, what's this called? 4-letter word. It says at the top of the screen. This is the ending of this maybe episode of 4-letter word. I don't know if I'm going to do more 4-letter word or if this is just like a one-off thing. But again, this is the Lycan Lupo filler arc, where I'm just reading a lot of like visual novels. Originally, I was going to do the filler arc of just visual novels that weren't finished or that were like on hiatus. But I sort of extended the definition to also include visual novels that are just whatever, you know? Like, not visual novels that are whatever, but just like any sort of visual novel versus anything in particular. Yeah, but that was 4-letter word. I don't know. We might do more 4-letter word. I don't know. We might do more 4-letter word. I don't know. But yeah, thanks guys. That was this episode of the Lycan Lupo filler arc. Thank you.